everyone. I am Russ Munisteri, Assistant Director of Education at MyComputerCareer, and welcome to Tech Out. Today, I want to talk about cybersecurity, the importance of cybersecurity, and why we need to secure our accounts, our passwords, and stuff like that. But first, did you know security services, and this is according to Forbes.com, security services is forecast to drive $64 billion in worldwide revenue this year, which is around 51% of the total market. This is why cybersecurity is so important. It is growing rapidly, and as you can clearly see, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So this is the time to get into cybersecurity. This is the time to get your training. This is the time to change your life and to make the world a safer place. Now, some of the things that I want to talk about today. Okay, let's talk about hackers and why it's important to secure your home environment. Now, as you all know, with the pandemic going on, most people, or a lot of people, are now working from home. Now, think about this. You're working from home. You are still handling private, sensitive data, but you're not really in the office anymore. Now, some people have a direct connection, to the office, and we will talk about that. But let's talk about things that you can do as an end user at home to secure your environment. First thing that you want to do is you want to work with your IT department, making sure that your home router is secure properly. Your firewall is enabled. You have services turned off on your laptop or your workstation that you do not need. Okay? It's very important that you have up-to-date, reliable antivirus or anti-malware software running in the background, such as Microsoft Defender, Bitdefender, and also Malwarebytes. Very important. A lot of us like to use Wi-Fi connections. It's easier. It makes us mobile. We can work from the patio. We can work here. We can work there. I get it. However, there are risks and there can be vulnerabilities with a Wi-Fi connection. You want to make sure that you are using WPA2, you are using AES encryption, you are using a complex passphrase, a complex password, making sure that your connection at home is very secure. Next thing, if you are connected, obviously, to your office, you are most likely using what's called a virtual private network, a VPN. Very important. Even if you don't have a corporate VPN, they do sell VPN services for the home user. And what a virtual private network is doing, it's basically tunneling all of your data, all of your transmission to and from your home in a nice, secure, encrypted tunnel. So the bad guys or the hackers can't access that data. You have to keep in mind that you are protecting corporate data. You are protecting sensitive information, so it has to be handled properly. Next, cloud services. Everyone loves cloud services. Now, what exactly is a cloud service? You're basically using another vendor's infrastructure. You're using someone else's hard drive, right? And that's great and all, but the question is, how secure is it? If you choose to save your corporate data or even personal data to a cloud service, you have to do your due diligence to find out how secure that service is. Very important. And of course, never save corporate data to a cloud service without the approval of your IT department, okay? Always go by IT policy, all right? Next thing that I want to talk about, and yes, I do have notes here because it is very important that everybody is on the same page. Okay, so in what ways can we protect our accounts? Now let's talk about accounts for a second because everybody has accounts out there. Social media accounts, financial accounts, just odds and ends here and there, okay? It's important that those accounts are protected. How do we do it? First thing that you must do, complex password. Now you're going to ask, what's a complex password? For me, a complex password is 8 characters or more. Preferably 8 to 12. I want to go more than 12 because then you're going to start writing down those passwords on that sticky note, putting under that keyboard, sticking it to the monitor. That's not going to work. 8 to 10, 8 to 12, don't go any more than that, right? You want uppercase, lowercase, you want numbers, and you want a special symbol in that password. You don't want to put your child's name, you don't want to put your pet's name, you don't want to put the street that you live on, the car you drive, none of that stuff. Because non-complex passwords can be easily compromised. And let's talk hackers. What are they looking for? What is the bad guy ultimately looking for? They're looking for an account that will provide them access to a network, that will provide them access to sensitive information. Data sells. So, first thing, complex password. Next thing that I want you to do, you're going to start using a password vault, such as LastPass. I like to use something called 1Password. I've been using it for a very long time. Yes, these password vaults are services, okay, because they need to be backed up. So, for example, I use 1Password. It's a great app. I love it, but my password encrypted file that holds all my passwords gets backed up. So if I would ever to get a new phone, a new mobile tablet, whatever, I could just install that app, log in, and there is all my stuff. You need to start to organize your passwords, which is very important. Never, and I say never, and we all do this, do not save your account credentials in your browser. Yes, you can do it in Google Chrome. You can do it in Microsoft Edge. I'm sure you could do it in Firefox. I get it. It's convenience. However, if somebody has access to your workstation, to your laptop, to your desktop, and they know the account password, they can easily go into your browser, go into the section that houses all those passwords, and they can put in the password for the workstation, and voila, they have access to all of your username, passwords, and the websites that they are associated to. That's a bad day for you, okay? That's a bad day. You don't want that. So we're going to use a password vault app for our phone or for the computer. We're not going to save passwords to our browser, okay? That right there, those are the first steps. Next thing. Let's talk multi-factor authentication. You may not know that term, but you do it all the time. When you log into your bank, let's just say, or some financial institution, they're going to either email you or text you or maybe call you with a code, and then you take that code and input it into the website. That's another form of authorization or identity to let the institution know who you are. It's you. Yes, this is me. This code came to my phone. This code came to my email. Here's the code. Bam, I'm in. Social media accounts. Very important that you do this, okay? Because social media accounts, they are, to me, they are very vulnerable, very risky. Let's take Facebook, for example. Very popular site. Okay, we're all on it. And there are settings, not only in Facebook, but there are settings in all of these social media sites that allow you to really tighten up that security. You can have multi-factor authentication enabled each time that you log into that account. So an email comes to you, again, you put in that code, or however they set it up, it's another layer of protection. Very important. And also have complex passwords for your social media accounts, and do not, and I repeat, do not use the same password for each and every site. Think about it. I'm a hacker. I now compromise your Facebook account. I know your username, password. I'm now going to try every financial institution out there. I'm now going to try every social media platform out there, and if I get into at least one, that's a good day for me, Bad day for you because I'm after that financial advantage. Okay? So we talked about virtual private networks, complex passwords, multi-factor authentication. Let's talk about how often you should change your password. Now, again, this is where your password vault comes into place. Changing passwords is very important. I'm sure some of you out there have passwords that are very old. I've been there, done that. Trust me when I tell you. And I like to go by, once every quarter, I will change my passwords to my financial institutions and to social media. Those always get changed because those are the hardest hit accounts, right? So you have to definitely get into the habit. Again, it's a habit. Get into the habit of changing your passwords once every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, once per quarter. And that's a great habit to have. And you're only going to make you and your information more secure. Okay? What else can we talk about? Okay, passwords, very important. Let's talk more about social media accounts because this is important too. A lot of people fall for what's called social engineering attacks, phishing attacks. These are common. These happen all day, every day. And this is such a huge business. How many of you out there heard of what's called a ransom attack? Matter of fact, Garmin, big company Garmin, GPS company, has recently been subjected to a ransom attack. And, they turned to pay large amounts of money to have their data decrypted rather. Why? That's the question. What was going on in Garmin? I don't know the details offhand, but what was going on in Garmin that they had to pay money to have their files decrypted? You have to think about that for a moment. But let's talk about social media, okay? I know a lot of folks out there like to be friends with everyone out there. Sometimes it's a numbers game. Oh, look, I have 200 friends. Look, I have 300 friends. I wish I had 10 friends. No, but seriously, it's not a numbers game. It's not a numbers game because there are plenty of accounts out there that are fake accounts. And people do this to become friends with you because they're learning about you. They are learning about your ways. They're learning about your habits. They're learning about where you go. They're learning about what you do, what you like, who you're friends with. They're learning, okay? And a hacker, if they want to have a successful compromise to your identity, to your information, they have to learn. So watch out for those fake accounts. If it's too good to be true, guess what? It's probably not true. All right? Let's talk about phishing attacks. All right? Phishing attacks, very common. It happens all the time. I'm sure you see it, but you don't even think about it. Phishing attacks is basically this. Hackers are throwing out information, kind of like when you go fishing. You just throw your reel out there, right, with the hopes of getting a bite. Okay? Same thing in the virtual world. They are sending out mass emails, thousands upon thousands of emails with the hopes to fool an end user. So the email states this, for example, okay, it's drafted as it's from your financial institution, okay, and they're saying that this is time sensitive. We need this information. Please click here to log in and answer a few questions and you're done, right? Okay, this seems easy enough. Let's go ahead and click here. By the way, the link that you see does not even show the name of your financial institution in that link at all. That's the first problem. So maybe you didn't see that. You will click on it. You go to a website that looks just like my bank. Let me log in. Okay, so you put in your username and password in those two fields, right? Guess what? Your username and password is not going to the database of your financial institution. It's going to some underground server someplace. Now somebody has your login information. Game over, fooled. That's a phishing attack. A phishing attack is there to fool or to manipulate the end user to give up or disclose personal information. You have to watch those phishing attacks. If again, too good to be true, do not click on it. Do not download files, that are questionable, and you should be okay from there. But again, you have to watch out for that stuff. That stuff is very important. Okay, so let's talk about. I mentioned earlier before about virtual private networks. There are personal VPNs out there that are popular. One called Nord, a VPN, N-O-R-D VPN. That's a popular one. A Tunnel Bear, a VPN. Those are two popular personal VPN services. And why would we use this? Okay, say for example, you go on vacation, you go to the hotel, and look at there. The hotel has free Wi-Fi. Like these other stores and places out there, they'll advertise free Wi-Fi. Yeah. Free Wi-Fi. That is an open network. Okay, so you hop on that free Wi-Fi network that's not secured. Anybody can get onto it, right? And you're now logging into this, you're logging into that, you're logging into this, you're logging into that. It's called a man-in-the-middle attack. And a hacker, somebody in that hotel, somebody on that, on that free network can be running a program that is actually reading data packets, and they can actually scoop up information, and you don't even know it. So if you connect to your virtual private network first, then you log on to all your sites, you should be okay. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this version of Tech Out. My name is Russ Munisteri, Assistant Director of Education at MyComputerCareer. Until next time, thank you so much.